It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. On we go with the mad lockdown haircut. All the hairdressers are still closed. Can't get my hair cut. Or I should say the barbers, shouldn't I, being a male. We have a bottle of Ringwood Brewery's Circadian. It's an everyday IPA coming in at 4.5% ABV in a 500ml bottle. There's the bottle cap. Without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. This is... nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. I purchased this beer. Now this might be a bit complicated, but we'll get there in a moment. Let me take my time with this one so I can fully explain. I purchased this beer. So Marston's owns Ringwood Brewery. Marston's have recently been bought out by, I always get mixed up, one of the two big green companies I like to call them. It's either, I'm sure it's Heineken, but it might be Carlsberg. Similar kind of companies, if you like, if you want to ask me. Not much difference between them. One's brewed in Denmark, one's in Denmark, one's in the Netherlands. I should say Heineken's in the Netherlands and Carlsberg's in Denmark. But anyway, I think Heineken's bought out the brewing operations of Marston's, which owns Ringwood Brewery. So this is probably the last ever Circadian everyday IPA that we will review, or the last Ringwood beer we will review, where Ringwood are an independent British brewery. Now they're basically owned by a big Dutch company that might water down their beer into nothing. Which I've just finished reviewing a bottle of Tetley's Pale Ale. The reason I'm talking about all of this is because I just finished reviewing a bottle of Tetley's Pale Ale, and this is exactly what happened to Tetley's. They were bought out by Heineken, and they shut the Leeds brewery, ruined the brand, ruined the beer. Tetley's now is really a nothing beer, where it was in the 70s and 80s was a massive brand, which a lot of people were proud of. So it's like a mark it's a line in the sand. It's the reason why I'm mentioning all of this. It's a line in the sand. This is the last time we will review a Ringwood beer before it's been bought out by a big Dutch company, Heineken. So, light golden, amberish colour ale, slow moving carbonation, one finger white head. Let's get the aroma. Smells lovely. This is more of a traditional British pale ale, by the way, not something I would say too American centric. Slightly spicy, peppery, hoppy, lemony, touch of grapefruit. Smells okay. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that's a million times better than the Tetley's Pale Ale. I know I keep on mentioning the Tetley's Pale Ale, and it might be confusing to a few of you. It was a shocking, let me show you, it was a shocking beer, this. So this has now been brewed at they closed the Leeds brewery, and they got a massive lager plant, Heineken, in the UK. Look at the difference in the beers. Different colour. It looks more or less like a lager, doesn't it? This Tetley's Pale Ale. And I just want to stress the point that for a British style pale ale, might have some British Cascade or something in there, which is essentially an American style hop. It's lovely. It's a lovely pale ale. Lovely malts coming through, biscuity, bready malts. Nice bitterness on the back end, but some lemon, some lime, some spices, touch of grapefruit. This is a beer I'd be quite happy drinking all afternoon. Quite happy. Sunday afternoon. I think the beer was part of a 3 for £5 deal in Asda. And I'm hoping against all hope, really, that the beer will stay the same. They might even, I don't know, what is the future? Does anybody know? Can anybody comment in the comments box? What is the future with the Marston's brewing empire? I know Marston's have kept all of their pub estate, I know that, but they've sold off all of their brewing. So Ringwood are now owned by Heineken. Does that mean Ringwood in the future gets shut down like Tetley's did? Does that mean other breweries in the Marston's empire get shut down like Brackspear down in Oxford? Marston's itself, you never know if that's gonna be around for many years to come. The worry is that they just sell it all off. A lot of them do it for housing. Sell all of the breweries off, and then they just take it in house and they brew it all up at the big site in the UK with named Heineken, and I think it's around the Newcastle way. I think Heineken, massive plant. But it's one of those situations where the head brewer of Ringwood has probably got control over this beer, and he can go, right, I want to do this with it. I want to brew something. Now, I'll get it checked off by Marston's, of course, because they're the owners, and they probably sign it off and go, that's a really good deal, really good idea. But what will happen in the future if they do close the Ringwood Brewery is that they will just go, we'll put it in-house, put it into Heineken, and you'll have a few people sitting around the table, half-heartedly going, oh, what should we do with Ringwood this month? We haven't brewed a Ringwood beer for the last month or two. Should we do Circadian Pale Ale again? Or the 49er they do, or the what's the strong, they do a strong ale as well, Ringwood. It's like a 5.56% big strong ale. It's lovely. But and they go, oh, okay, well we'll brew this beer, but we'll kind of base it on a lager recipe, and maybe add a little bit of malt, and maybe add a couple of hops, and see if we can pass it, see if we can flog it off to the people who used to like Ringwood, the Ringwood brand. And that's the shame. That's the shame of it all. And it's only been this virus, this forced Marston's hands. The share price of Marston's in March absolutely tanked, and they had their hands forced into selling to Heineken, and it's just an absolute shame, I think. Absolute shame. Anyway, let's rate this beer. Lovely malts coming through, biscuity, bready, hoppy, slightly zesty. Not a patch on some of the pale ales or some of the kind of American style everyday IPAs. This is more of a British version, but in its own right, it's quite nice. Let me hold this. I want you to read this. Pause the video. Give that a read. Because all of this kind of description will go away in the future. I'll show you I will show you the description on the back of the Tetley's number 3 Pale Ale video bottle. It has a bit of a description, but it's nothing like the description on the Ringwood beer. I like it enough to give it a 7 out of 10. It's a 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.